There are three kinds of artists. First, their artworks are much more famous than the artists themselves, like this one. Most people have seen this painting, but who is the painter? Well, you could try to find out. Second, the artist is as famous as his or her artwork, like this one. Yes, everyone knows its creator, we'll talk about him later. And third, the artist is much more famous than their works, like this guy. Nearly every person in the world knows him, but if you ask people to name some of his works, very few people can make it. Why? Mostly because those artworks he created are really hard to understand. In Picasso's paintings, most women's faces are split in half, just like the pathetic Harvey Dent. Their bodies are made out of round and irregular geometric shapes. In fact, there is a reason why Picasso painted these women strangely. This painting style is called Cubism, which is the first abstract style of modern art. Just like its name, Cubism employs geometric shapes in depictions of human and other forms. Actually, Cubism is not Picasso's monopolization, both Picasso and Georges Braque created it. But anyway, who cares about Georges Braque? So, if you want to understand Picasso, you need to understand Cubism first, which is you need to figure out why Picasso dismembered those sexy bodies into geometrical slices. Let's go to the source and check the first Cubism artwork from Picasso. If you read some textbooks about art history, it will say that this is the most important artwork in the 20th century. But if you ask, is it really so good? Well, I really can't tell. But what I can tell you is that Avignon is a really famous red light district in Barcelona. So actually, those 5 maidens are very likely hookers. We can see that the 2 maidens in the center are coquetting, and the fabric used to cover their bodies slipped down. Accidentally. The woman standing on the right is preparing to draw the curtains. All these designs make the women in the painting seem to seduce you. That's the unique trick of classical painters, because it can make the artwork sell better. But I can promise you will never be interested in these Picasso women, because they all look as strong as female bodybuilding champions. The breast, which should have been ample bosom, was drawn into a sharp triangle, and the eyes totally come from a dead fish. The 2 women on the far right not only looked like mutant Frankensteins, but the back one had only one eye. Is there anyone confused just like me? Why does everyone praise the work so good, even if it depicts women like this? If you still use beauty as the standard to measure Picasso's works, then you will not understand Picasso's works forever. The first thing we need to know is that what Picasso doing was to subvert the centuries-old tradition of classical painting. Now repeat after me, subvert the tradition, subvert the tradition, subvert the tradition. Okay, let's look at the painting again. Those strange designs are not just nonsensical. Actually, there are sources of inspiration. Most came from ancient Iberian bust and African masks. Yes, Picasso wanted to subvert the tradition, but he didn't want to be criticized. If you accuse those women are ugly, then Picasso will defend himself with,
"Those are ancient art from ancient artists. If you don't appreciate them, well, it's not my fault."
Other design from Picasso look even more weird, such as this one. This monster's body is facing away from us, but the head is facing us. In fact, this is not Picasso's original. It was invented by Paul Cézanne, who is known as the father of modern art. Before Paul Cézanne, classical artists used the traditional one-point perspective method to make a 2D plane look like a 3D space. But Cézanne flattened surfaces to show the same arrangement from multiple angles at once, which is called the multiple viewpoint theory. If you think, hey, what kind of theory is this? Is this not a consequence of ADHD? Well, try to think about it another way. If we can see all the left, right, top, and bottom of the same object in the same painting, is this feel like upgrading from 2D to 4D? Like VR or some fancy stuff? But this is still Cézanne's way. As a man who aimed to subvert the tradition, Picasso wanted to create a more subversive style to establish himself as the leader of avant-garde art. He made it. In fact, we can use just one word to summarize his new style: simplify. Just mark this word, simplify. Picasso was very good at simplify visual images, like this example. See? Not bad, right? You can even create your own Cubism artwork. First, we break up this picture into geometric pieces. Then we simplify them. And finally, resemble them. Congratulations! You just accomplished a Cubism masterpiece. Cubism was the first abstract style of modern art. It changed the art history irreversibly. That's all the most essential information you need to know about Pablo Picasso. If you like this video or want to watch more interesting stories, please like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates. We'll see you next time.